Unstable rocking the hero here, Mopsy on Stitches, Stalk on Diablo, Andilendia on Falstad, and Sphinxy on Zagara. And well, apparently these two teams scrimmed quite a bit, and Cho'Gall was played by my Insanity.
还是前期看那个私有走，主要前期看私有走，看谁的清线更快，清线的效率更高，然后看交钱的情况，看那个视野的控制，因为一边有扎加拉，一边有塔斯达，双方都有控制视野的英雄啊。
Cho'Gall buffs in the PTR.We have Unstable dropping out of the game. That gives us a chance to talk about a few things, which is actually really nice because I was already running out of time here. So we have Morales, alright? So the cool thing what we have here, first of all, we have a Morales playing on the side of Virtus Pro, which is, sorry, not Virtus Pro, but...
屠夫又学的是一个，冯怪又学的是主 W 的天赋。
The other thing is we have a double support, and not only any double support. It's not like a Torana, Tassadar.
你看，你说乌瑟尔什么时候学吃球，什么时候学格挡？你看这个阵容啊，你就学这个乌瑟尔，他就学吃球。为什么学吃球啊？首先这个地图球多，他可以吃3路的球，这第一点。第二点，他有双前排，他不需要他补充个前排的作用，所以呢，他就学个吃球，对吧？你不需要站到前面去挡啊。如果他是单前排一个牛头，或者单前排一个大菠萝，那你可能就要学格挡，对吧？就是这样一个区别。
Position, I have to admit. I mean, usually Morales should be behind the two tanks, not in front of them. But if Unstable positions himself well, and he dropped out of the game, so I suppose that it was just like the bot already moving him over to the left a little bit. So once that Unstable is ready to position himself behind the tanks, he should be very safe here. And that could even lead us to that leap that I mentioned during the draft. I could really see that. Since right now the question is, how does this setup get close enough to Morales and Falset to take those guys down? And if you have a double support as is, you could go into a leap on Sonya over the Wrath of Berserker. Wrath of the Berserker makes Sonya more dangerous.
那说明这个勾肯定是神勾，对吧？肯定是他经常勾到人，然后队友杀不死，所以他就经常教育他的队友，所以他就获得了这样一个认证。
So of course Wrath of the Berserker is still a great choice here, but leap would allow to jump the backline, and Morales has to die. Not taking down Morales is going to become an issue, so they have to be really careful about the movements here. And I'm a little bit curious to see how they're going to skill these heroes. Because if they don't go for Morales, I'm not quite sure if they can really out-damage. Kalthus has that added advantage that he dishes out a lot of AoE damage.
他们放那个医生走回去了，因为医生掉线了，你把他杀了就有点
So for us, this little break was actually very nice to talk about those things. We have Zagara already in the bot lane with creep spread everywhere, and the rotation that we are seeing for my Insanity is actually not going mid-top, but mid-bottom.
他们没有选择下路跟那个扎加拉对线啊，他们选择是游走中下路，然后放桑雅单上，然后双方都选择换塔，都选择换对方塔，因为他觉得桑雅跟扎加拉对线啊可能对不过，所以他干脆就4人游走中下路，然后上路放成一个单人线，这也是一个非常聪明的选择。就是说你单人线其实也不是固定的，我们讲的固定啊，就是你打一个 solo rank 的时候，你单排的时候是固定的。但你自己打战队赛的时候，会有很多那个变化的地方。
Stun against Diablo here, and he's already about. He's not been taken out there. He has on level 1, by the way. So
一个凯子前期想杀人还是比较难的。要是个杰安娜就肯定死了，对吧？对，你觉得桑雅一个人打3个，跟他一个人打折压，其实效果差不多，对吧？就是打不过，那你不如抗压了，对吧？就是拿我们的劣等马对你的上等马的这种感觉。他这样让你扎加拉也发挥不了。他首先在压制你扎加拉的推进，其次让你扎加拉视野布不出去。我一直在你这边控制你扎加拉，你就把找到地方你跑，你视野布不出去，扎加拉也特别痛苦的。他放塔萨在这里一直清你的军团，也很烦。
Normally you don't really want her to be alone on the map, but Stitches is already on his way in, so yeah. Unstable is going to be able to really just like heal a ton here. Goes on level 4 into the upgraded ballistics. Okay, so already an interesting choice here.
然后你说为什么？刚才我跟大家说了一下乌瑟尔的那个格挡的天赋啊。医生姐姐4级也有个格挡的天赋，那他什么情况学格挡呢？就是他感觉对面能够切到他的时候，他学格挡。他这盘啊，他有个双前排。所以他感觉对面切不进来，即便对面有桑雅啊，他也感觉对面切不进来，所以他就学个主意， 我当时讲过医生姐，医生姐主流的打法是主 E， 除非在你生存压力特别大，比如说这么一个泽拉图，你可能学一个格挡，其他情况都是主 E， 所有的天赋都点 E。
Today, and I'm not 100% certain if it's already live. It was mostly changes to heroic abilities that we usually don't see.
桑利
It should
亚，
not have live
他换了两人，哎呀，他其实可以跑掉啊。
Sonya here, very well done.
对，就田忌赛马的这样一个套路啊。因为
the patch was dropped just
因为他桑雅打不过3个人，他也打不过扎加拉，那他就选择打不过你3个人好了，然后让派3个人去打扎加拉，就是特别聪明的一个选择。
The only change that is important for this game here in particular is that it will change.
看来我们的那个
That's the only change that that patch brings, which in this game would make a bit of a difference.
你们那个叫什么？
Avatar Mirror
对，
Did
我
is
们的
now
那个
currently stunned with an auto attack. And
就
the
是我们的
patch
国文
will-
课
the patch makes
教的内容是差不多的，
Avatar
都学过田忌赛马是不是？
mini stun will be gone, and that's important because unstable is of course going to rely on that heal beam to heal the target. That stun on Mirrodin is one of the best.
台湾这个课叫什么？叫国文课还是叫什么？
Auto attack.
大陆叫语文课。
Always cancel a healing beam so that it has to be applied anew, which is super annoying. If that is still in the game, that would be great to mess with Morales a little bit. If that has already been removed, then that would be, definitely a bit of a change. So that's something that we have to watch out for later. And well, we have level 7 now for the teams, and of course they are attempting to get those turn-ins in. 47 have already been turned in for my insanity, and Google is with 65 of their own gems in a position where they could complete that turn in too. Anilend is already there. We see last bite taken for Stitches once again. Level 7 versus 7 now. Kala's embrace on 7, but on level 4 the adjustment.
还差3个，蓝色方只要再要3个就可以了。也是因为他塔斯拉把视野布出去了，然后扎加拉你看到吗？扎加拉根本就没放到几个军团，全被清光。啊，这肯定是要交的。哎，一人姐姐，神奇 EQ， 神奇 EE。
prevent that, but there's the turn, and this time it's successful. That hammering is too late, Anilend nearly dying for it, and therefore we have the first web weaver wave for the blue team. It's all okay for the red team as long as they don't die now and lose these gems, and that's of course the biggest threat. So nice job by my insanity. We have, by the way, on level 4 and on level 1, once again, like the slam talents taken for Stitches, so even on a map where you get
好，一人姐姐气级学了一个进化。
no increased hit point pool. Quite the opposite. We have at the same time now the push at the bot lane already hitting very hard. There's the cleanse on both heroes as already expected. So here comes again the grenade starting to move in. Stuns against Diablo. And the Lord of Terror is pretty terrified right now. He's trying to rush away.
医生姐姐在那里跑掉了。
Sonya
医生姐姐喷了一口，差点把喷死了，
Good job.
差点被蜘蛛喷死了。
Keeping her in the back is absolute key right now. And we have a cooldown reduction.
我们注意这个点啊，他第一波执王者，然后蓝色方5个人都在下路，那你上路会丢无数的兵。你同样，你红色方5个人在下路，你上路的外宝就会丢，所以两边啊都在下路啊，都很亏。你蓝色方你会亏经验，因为你会掉很多波兵，那个执王者会吃掉很多兵，那兵不算你的。然后红色方呢，你会掉外塔，你会掉那个门牙，就是双方啊这个点都是有点亏的。5个人抱团的话。
We didn't see, well, we see one kill. One kill is all that we saw so far in the game. Not much more besides that.
总的来讲还是蓝色方亏一点啊，因为后来红色方又上去补线了，对吧？他要把经验吃回来，所以你发现啊，他先交了一波执王者，但他经验落后了，有没有？有没有？你蓝色方你先交了执王者，但你现在经验落后了，为什么？因为你处理兵线处理的太差了，很 low 啊，很 low。
Another 8. So if they get rid of all of those,
你看红色方先到10级，你敢信啊？你先交执王者，对面先到10级，你这处理有问题啊！
My insanity is attempting to head into level 10 a bit faster so they get the heroic ability to make sure that they can deny that. But yeah, it's just movements all out on the map, trying to make sure that nobody turns in. Anilend has only 10 of those. The rest of the team is in the middle. There's the level 10 abilities. Apocalypse, Putrid Bile, Stim Drone of course. False are going to be happy about it. Mighty Gust. And no talent taken yet for Zagara, but it's going to be more. They start to move in once again. Wrath of the Berserk has been chosen for Sonya. No leap. Our hopes and dreams are crushed by my insanity.
哎呀，差一点，他到16级那个哥哥加强可能会好一点。 现在的话，蓝色方就想连交2波，然后红色方就想这样偷交一下，感觉有点难。 塔塔达的这个图干扰你交臂是有点强啊！一个吹风。然后那个缝合怪学的是那个减速，并没有学吞人。
The rotations are amazing of my Insanity. I'm liking this a lot. They're always able to make sure that they double check what's happening, they see what's going on. Oracle and
你看他一直在干扰你，双方在互相干扰。
And then they just deny the turn-ins the entire time.
这就是视野啊，在这个图的优势。塔萨达和扎加拉为什么这么强？就是视野啊。
There comes at least one stun, 2 stuns. Dimensional shift being used. Splendor in a bit of trouble. A lot of damage hitting him. Putrid Bile used, and that should be the turn.
啊，应该交了。
That should be it now. One turned in. And again.
塔达，所以塔达两个图特别强，一个朱红木，还有一个巨龙阵。你想拿巨龙，你就是拿不了。塔达就是干扰你，一点办法没有。终于交了。塔达已经拖到了足够的时间了，让他的凯子会顺利的成长到13级。
I mean, we have more into Apocalypse still as a setup, and let's not forget about that Stim drone. Once that fall stat is getting really ready with his season marksman stacks, he's going to
刚才那个第一波 boss 啊，两边都选择去跟 boss， 5个人在一起都亏了。我们看看第二波怎么选择啊？你看第二波的话，姑姑这边就选择3路分推，311，对吧？非常经典的311。就我们中下路留1个人，上路留3个人。They start to go for the towers. Falset at the top is already aiming straight for the fort, but over here it's a 5 versus 4 now in favor of my Insanity. They go for Mopsio is being healed. 好，鸟人飞过来。
The Apocalypse. He's trying to
要吐了，要吐了，喷了，喷了！哎呀，喷到2个，有点疼。上路蛛网魔还有半血，还能推，还是有点亏啊！我觉得蓝色方这边处理啊，确实有点小问题。
The Google boys here, Google Ishitsult, probably pronounced the wrong way. Doesn't really matter. It's like Google is looking for an umbrella. One of those silly names that Stork comes up with. Andy Lendy and his boys have 96 gems now. They're going to try and turn in again, and the level 13 that they are going to hit soon is going to help them a lot. And the mid lane already, Nuruk in a bit of additional pressure, level 13 any moment now, and there we have it. Here comes that hook again. Level 13 talents now. We have after Fire Devil, now Firestorm taking the couples. No, intensive care over the couples therapy. So even more heals in this case. And the reduction on the mana costs. Okay. We have also Giant Killer for Falstad. Happy times for him. Not so happy times for Muradin right now. The Dwarf is not going to like this. And we have level 13 with the Red Web Weaver waves descending now for them to push in harder. And it's still missing for my Insanity. And they need it for Kalvas.
他们现在没到13级以前不会打到，一定要等到13，应该守着就差不多了。其实你看双方的人头啊，双方人头是1-0，但是经验差了1级，主要就是你细节的处理上有一定差距啊，主要就是第一波 boss 处理的不太好。
So once again, the push is happening. Bot lane Ford is nearly eliminated. Level 13 now. Any moment for my Insanity. And there we have it. Chain Bomb time. And Prescience. Mystical Spear also chosen. And yeah, probably a Shrink Grave. There we have it. And Muradin, of course, against Sigara. Not only relying on Oracle here, but using that...
莫拉丁学了个火斗，也是一定程度上就是限制一下贾加拉的均塔。虽然说有塔斯达，但塔拉那个 D 还是有 CD 的。莫拉丁学这个火斗啊，还有那个 W 对单一目标伤害啊，都挺好。凯子13了，但对面快16了。你闪打吗？哎，被看到了。被塔拉看到了。哎，凯子不在啊，桑雅太急了吧？凯子不在啊，你有点急了。连锁炸弹能不能放进去？哎呀，有点急进的，其实凯子来的有点，凯子还没到啊。那结果是好的，结果是就打赢了。就像我们大龙毁一生，对吧？ 大龙回声。
Google was thinking, oh God, we love this game so much.
刚桑雅那个无敌给的很早，桑雅一个人冲进去想交个无敌，把对面5个人都卡在那个 BOSS 的技能里面了，吃了一套 BOSS 的完整技能。主要是那个无敌立功了，桑雅进的是有点早，主要他看不到那 BOSS 的血量，所以我们觉得他进的早，可能他自己。因为我们是站在上帝视角，你要站在桑雅的视角的话，可能他进的就不是很早，可能他真的是觉得应该进了，他不知道 BOSS 多少血嘛。哎，大龙回声，没办法。鸟人准备吹风了，鸟人这个位置是一个吹风的位置。鸟人要把对面吹进去嘛，这难门还没破呢。快16了，这个内保推掉就16了，这2个兵就16了。姑姑这边有点难了。鸟人 E 刚 CD 刚刚好。这打吗？15打16不明智吧？快跑啊！怎么能出去呢？15打16有点夸张吧？这样子的话也不太好打啊！你要凯子到16了，你才15。哎呀，喷一口喷到2个人。哎呦，莫拉丁直接跳回去。强打一波。这有点勉强，但莫拉丁没有蓝了。凯兹蓝也不多，但凯兹蓝够打这波团了。凯兹被晕一下，盾开出来。桑雅秒掉，好的激速，鸟人打了一个激速啊，这掉了不少宝石。打掉15个宝石还是有点赚的。哎呀，差一点，他这钩子已经加长了，还是差了一点。你看这鸟人伤害是有点低啊，28000。
41 on the other hand on Calathos, and guess where he got most of that? I'm not gonna say it. So yeah, the boss pit, the throw pit once again, like really carrying that name. But the game isn't over yet. Yes, they are behind, but like that setup that they run here, I like it a lot. I've been saying it before. And up to that point where they decided to go for a very interesting and optimistic move on the map.
这盘哲加拉就没有选择大军团，他应该学的战斗动能，我没有注意看啊，但你看他军团的这个范围啊，应该就是没有学大军团，他可能觉得对面压制的比较厉害啊，军团扑不出去，而且有个塔特拉在，所以他觉得学战斗动能补充一下伤害啊，可能会好一点。所以哲加拉什么时候学战斗动能，什么时候学军团呢？就是你觉得伤害不够的时候啊，你可能就要学个战斗动能补充下伤害。
Is going to do a lot of damage there. Hands off, by the way. Oh, yeah, there's no way.
你抓个穆拉丁也只能看看。
So yeah, full set. They have to rely upon.
哇，那太冲动了！你干嘛勾穆拉丁啊？勾穆拉丁把自己搞死了。哎，救活了，还好。哎，你勾穆拉丁把自己给弄死了。哎呀，奶回来了！你别说，迪亚波罗奶回来了，连锁炸弹。哎呀，还是奶到了！哎呀，好奶啊，好奶啊！哎呀，切死了，上来切死了。鸟人有激素，上来有无敌，一个有激素有无敌，鸟人没有蓝了。哎呀，这全都是图门外的锅啊！你非要勾穆拉丁干嘛呢？明知杀不死就非要勾一下。2换1，这是为你的冲动付出代价了吧？你太年轻了，你这么年轻，你不要玩坦克嘛。很多时候在这是手贱，对吧？我知道杀不死你，但我就是想勾，我就是想爽一下。我玩个缝缝怪，我不勾人，多不爽呢，对吧？那手贱，然后就团灭了。
So if they can keep that game alive a little bit longer and not lose keeps here,
鸟人吹风桑雅啊，哎呀漂亮这个接的，啊有点溜有点溜。但鸟人的位置啊，鸟人你是个小飞机啊，鸟人当不应该过墙啊，你过墙是有点冲动了。鸟人你过墙你是坦不住的，啊基本上一波了，这肯定一波了，1-1，啊还有第3盘。
And they are already moving through it. If they don't go for core, they should at least drop the second team. Sorry, the third one. But it looks like they might move in. Well, there's Fixie around. He has a bit more, so he can buy a bit time. He needs to. Well, he only catches one. That's unfortunate for them. Putrid Bile is being used. Fixie is defending as much as he can. They need to go for.
双方打的感觉，姑姑这边可能打的有点久，有点累，然后蓝色方这边都有点失误吧。鸟人对啊，鸟人，我们一直讲鸟人吹风怎么用啊？你千万不要在对面5个人的时候吹风。首先你自己过去会死，其次你把对面5个人都吹回来，你们家人打不过。所以鸟人一定要残局吹风。你开场吹风，除非你优势特别大，你领先对面一个天赋，对吧？你5-5开的时候，你团战5对5，你吹风，那不找打吗
？No. It wasn't over. It wasn't over by any means, but it was like, yeah, I still don't understand it. Not quite sure what happened. Anyways, guys, we're gonna jump into a break, and after that, we're gonna be, of course, ready with game number 3. So see you guys in just a minute. Okay, guys, game number 3. I still can't believe that happened. I mean, that was... Let's just face it, that was a pretty bad call. Okay, so we have already the draft ready, but it hasn't started yet. Okay, there we go. Okay, So yeah, they're not going to be happy about that. Google played a very good game until that point, but yeah, as is, they lost the game, and for a very good reason. So our third game, and I don't know the score actually in the second game. Oh well, actually, like it seems like Virtus Pro is ahead against Infinity Gaming, so they would have a chance to advance to the consolation match if they take it with a 2-0. That was the last update that I got at least. But yeah. And by the way, we also have like the Li Ming chibi now in, since our last donator here was Asgore with the top donation of the day, and we had actually Tomcat Ogo has subscribed as well. So thanks for the support, my friend. Game number 3, after the pretty big boss fail of the Google boys, and the second game is gonna take place on Infernal Shrines. And we have My Insanity with the first ban here, and it looks like they are going to get rid of that Tyrande again. They seem to hate her still. Most of the teams don't really bother with Tyrande too much anymore. You still see a couple of bans on her, but so far My Insanity is the only team that is really hating her guts. In the last game, we actually saw a ban on Cho'Gall, which was pretty fun, and I have high hopes that at some point we're going to see My Insanity bring the hero in play in an actual game, and him not being banned out. It's not really a bit surprised though that Google is currently thinking about a ban on Thrall. They haven't locked him down yet, but they have selected him as a ban. He is very powerful there. I mean, on this map here, it's once again like very similar. Zagara for map vision is great. Fawcett is cool if you want to like dominate the map a bit with a fly in. We have a lot of Stitches that is being played on Infernal Shrines, and up to the patch that is currently on the PTR on the test realm, it is also going to be a patch where, of course, especially AoE is going to dominate quite a bit, and that means Stitches with a slam build can do a whole lot when it comes to the minion fights. You can also, of course, see the same thing with Johanna that can go into Eternal Retaliation on level 4, unless, of course, you need Laws of Hope because you have just not the perfect support lineup. And Google, yeah, that's Zagara. As I said, she is amazing, but what do you ban out? Thrall is great, Zagara is good too, Thrall combos well with ETC. It's a pretty tricky choice here for Google, but the two heroes are definitely the ones that they are looking at right now. And they decide in favor of banning out Zagara, and that allows My Insanity, I think for the first time now, to actually lock Thrall down if they want him. Alternatives to him were Kalthas, of course, and they could also, well, I guess we don't have to theorize about that anymore. They pick Kalthas, and you can guess what Google is taking. They wanted to ban Fallout because they were afraid My Insanity would take it, but right now they see that they have a chance to finally lock down Thrall for themselves, and I don't think they are going to let that go. Together with Thrall, they have now once again a couple of options. They can, of course, either head into a Jaina right away, or they can still lock down heroes like that Muradin, like also that Falstad that I've been talking about. Stitches, once again, very strong here. So the start for them is going to be an interesting one, and it seems like Muradin is going to be that choice again. Or is it Stitches? As I said, like these two heroes at the front line, that's what they're currently looking at, unless you want to go for the range damage already. And they can't make their mind up, apparently. So yeah, at this point, just like looking at it, Stitches, Muradin, both of them are amazing. I mean, like it's a little bit different on the way they play. Stitches has that AoE, that's definitely one of the things that he is going for him. Numani, thank you. Numani let the dogs out, I suppose. Well, first of all, thanks again for that. We have Johanna now picked for My Insanity and Sonya, so a lot of AoE. So Stitches in the end has won out over the potential Muradin, and with the Stitches taken, they have a bit more AoE, and again, they need to, of course, like ban a few heroes here. They are apparently really leaning towards banning another frontliner, and I find that surprising. Yeah, that makes more sense. Going into an Uther ban is a little bit more logical than banning out a second frontliner here, even if My Insanity tries to run in with a very heavy frontline and adds another tank. You want to get rid of something like Uther that combos so well with Sonya. My Insanity with the ban on Tassadar here now, also again of course for Vision and the support for Thrall in particular. Google, Jaina, I would like it if they lock that down, that would be great for them. They have already Stitches for the initial hook. 7-sided strike apparently as a combo is what they are leaning for. Thrall can of course use that wolf to lock a target down as well. And My Insanity to round things up, I mean at this point they can think about, I suppose like in supports, when you look at the support lineup, we have already a fair amount of supports actually like banned out with Uzet, Tassadar and Tyrande being gotten rid of. Charism has been picked, so in supports you could still head into... It's a bit tricky at this point actually, like right now. We could still see a Morales here. Brightwing would supply shields and everything. Arcane Precision got buffed a little bit for some AoE. I don't like him Malfurion against the Stitches. Brightwing has the mobility with the Blink heal that would really help him. Morales has a problem with getting hooked as well, but would be a solid support for Sonya in the backline. It's actually tricky with the support at this point. I mean, you can go even into, I suppose, a Rhaegar with a Sonya. Rhaegar has nice... It's unfortunate that we don't have the PTR changes for Rhaegar that make him a very different hero. But right now we still have the Lightning Shield for Sonya potentially, the Burst Heal as well. Rhaegar or Brightwing would probably what I would lean towards in this scenario. I keep thinking I forgot about a healer. I forgot someone, didn't I? Well, either way, it's going to be a bit annoying for them. A bit more range damage could also help in this case. We still have Reyna and also Falstad around. And they seem to go for Morales. Yeah, as I said, I like Morales. I could have seen a Rhaegar even, but Rhaegar is not really popular in Europe. In North America, I'm personally convinced that we would have seen a Rhaegar lockdown here. But Morales can be strong. Again, Morales has bigger problems being hooked than Rhaegar, I suppose. And a second tank, once again. Triple tank, more or less. So, triple heroes at the front line. That helps them against the Stitches hooks, I assume. I mean, Johanna can get away, Muradin can get away, Sonya can kill them, basically, if she gets some support here and doesn't get bursted out immediately. Muradin here works for them, and, well, for Google, they go into Diablo. It's like very tanky what both of the teams are playing here. Thrall, Stitches, Diablo. No more range damage for Google, really? I mean, I guess going up against 3 tanks with only Thrall and Stitches is a bit of a commitment, but you have a Charism at the front line too. They could still head into a Falstad or into a Reyna and go for Giant Killer on level 13. That would be very strong against the setup that we're seeing for Mind Sanity. I would actually like that. But a Diablo has AoE. He has also, of course, again, like that Initiate that you want and that combos with Jaina. So both of the teams go into a very melee heavy setup. Google boys more so than Mind Sanity since they're also running that Charism. But this is a very aggressive setup that both of the teams are playing here. So that's going to be a pretty solid game actually. It's going to be a very interesting game. I can't really remember when we've the last time seen such a heavy melee composition on Infernal Shrines in particular. Oftentimes teams are trying to go for a little bit more poke, like add a Vala for example to the setup that can just simply add that multi-shot for example. And you have a couple of other options with that Reyna here. You can use the Hyperion, zone the opponent out a bit, but in this game it's all about the brawl up at the front line. Now we're going to jump in and we'll find out which team is going to advance to the round of 8 immediately and which team is going to drop into the consolation match. Where Virtus Pro is also waiting because they were able to take down Infinity Gaming with a 2-0. So guys, let's jump straight in. Infernal Shrines is map number 3. Alright, let's check that out. We can, same setup. Oh no, actually they switched this time. The teams make sure that I don't get lazy and that I have to adjust my overlay the entire time, so they are trying to see if I pay attention, and yes I do. Yeah, very aggressive setup here. Heavy front line on both sides now. It's gonna be a very, very cool game, I think. It's a little bit sad that we don't have one of those auto attackers though. I love to see like in the late game when you have a lot of these marksman sections get all that pushing power in. It's pretty solid, but yeah. As is, I'm gonna jump into our match. Let's see, looks like everybody's ready. 7 out of 10, okay. And over here. I think my Space Lord Leoric fund is nearly full. Should be full actually. I'm gonna get myself that skin later on right away. It's just sexy. That voice alone is just awesome. Okay, the game starts, so yeah. Enough of that. Let's go into the game, guys, and check that out. Game number 3, determining which team advances and who has to go up against Virtus Pro in the consolation match now. And yeah. It's gonna be an interesting game for sure. Very brawly. A lot of brawlers at the front line, a lot of like heroes that are trying to just like get into the opponent's face. Only one ranged hero with Andilendi's Jaina on the side of the opponent there. And Kethas. Game on, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3, the Google boys going up against My Insanity. And to the right side of the map, it is Google looking for an umbrella in Russian. Playing Stalk on Diablo, Asphyxia on Thrall. We have Unstable on Karazhan, Andilendi on Jaina, and Mopsio on Stitches. To the right side of the map, Morales. She needs to be very careful of these hooks. Splendor playing her here for Team My Insanity. We have Darkmog on Sonya, Nuruk on Johanna, Hazobs on Kalthas, and Blumby on Muradin. As already said, these teams met during the Spring Championship qualifier, and back then the Google boys took it and won, so it's a bit of a mini grudge match between them. My Insanity wants revenge, and they're a chance to get that now. But a very brawly setup here for the two teams. Soulfeast level 1 on Diablo. Already Diablo, the target of attention. And I mean, like, looking at the setup that we see at this point for the Google boys, in theory, just saying, I mean, I don't really believe in it until I see it, but in theory, we could see backdraft on Kalthas. Of course, if you go up against the Stitches, you're afraid of getting hooked. There's a lot of engage on the opponent's side, so having the Arcane Barrier keeps you alive. But backdraft is a talent that is amazing the more melee heroes your opponent has. And there's only one hero in the entire setup that we see for the Google boys that is ranged, and that is, of course, Jaina. So you could theoretically try and go into backdraft and just simply say Morales is going to keep me alive, and we have 3 frontliners as well that should always be able to peel for me and to block any incoming hooks. So if you're confident enough that you can make that happen, then you could go into backdraft here. That being said, Arcane Barrier is an amazing talent and is most likely going to be the choice of Hazobs, but there can be an adjustment, just saying. In terms of the talents so far though, we have on level 1, first of all, the Shot of Fury taken, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Thrall actually taken out of the top lane now with Blumby and Darkmog here. In 5 seconds, the first Infernal Shrine is going to be announced. We have also now, again, Slam Build on Stitches. Makes, of course, sense since you want to go for those minions on the map and win the objective, and therefore the extra damage on the Slam is going to help you a lot. So, Thrall down at the top lane. Sonya was doing very solid damage, and then as Muradin came in, it was just like a bit too much to handle. Sorry, I think it wasn't even Muradin, was it? Yeah, that Muradin Loki came in. So they already go straight for that shrine, and they don't even wait for level 4. They have Johanna still moving from one lane to another, trying to get level 4. But the same is also attempted now by Google. Yeah, there comes Blumby. Doesn't even have to hop away, just walks away. Splendor's there. That's of course the priority target for these hooks. If they get a good hook on him, that can turn a fight for sure. But now it's 20 against 0 minions with that first Punisher. What are we going to see? Yes, Eternal Retaliation, of course, for Johanna. With Morales in play, you can definitely go for that. You don't have to go for the Laws of Hope. Still heroes on all 3 lanes, and Nuruk is starting to get experience as much as he can. Morales even waiting in the mid lane to get a little bit. We are seeing with those auto attackers now an adjustment as a level 4 talent for Morales. It is the advanced block that has been taken here. Double Chain Lightning committed on level 1 and on level 4 for Thrall. And we have now also Healing Ward taken. Snowstorm plus Putrid Ground are the talents. The Punisher is in play and is of course going to try to go up through that top lane fort. Yeah, the team that wins here is going to the round of 8 immediately. Group C, 2 teams of course advance out of those 4 in Group C. And well, the team that loses is going up against Virtus Pro for the last slot in the consolation match. Hazobs got taken out, and well, he got basically just sandwiched by 3 heroes here. Didn't probably feel too good. But yeah, so he is dead, down for the count, and they have to like wait until he's back so that they have finally some flame damage in the game again. Again, on Muradin, by the way, the adjustment on level 4 going Sledgehammer over the additional Thunderclap talent. Down to the bottom lane, Andilendi still rotating around, trying to just like make sure that he doesn't die against Nuruk or anybody else. This is of course like the big threat. I mean, if you're alone in the lane as the only range man as a squishy, and you know that your opponent has this many melee heroes, once they are on you, you are more or less dead. You don't really have an escape here. So you need to be incredibly careful how you position yourself here, and oftentimes we'll see the players just sit on the mount in range of experience and not even do anything, at least in the early stages. For now, we have the level 7 talents that we are going to see coming into play for Team Google. First of all, Last Bite taken again. It's pretty cool when you actually just like move through those minions and you kill them with that and reduce those cooldowns. Battle Momentum for Diablo, we see the Echo of Heaven, no cleanse this time, and Frostbitten. And down on the side of Nuruk, we have, well, on level 7, it's probably going to be Conviction. Good, fell for now. He's actually trying to get away from this scan. Conviction has been chosen. Nuruk still alive, but this is not looking good. Nah, there's the hook and the kill. The kill against Johanna Cleanse taken for Morales, ferocious healing of course for Sonya for the extra self-sustain here, not going into follow through as the alternative option for more damage. We have the chain bomb build started on Kalthas with the fission bomb, and we are also seeing at the same time now the piercing old fog Meridian. And with level 7 we also saw now another temple spawn on the map, and already we see my Insanity being busy bees there, getting a few of these minions. The hook is not hitting anything but empty air, but Mopsy of course had to try it, trying to get one of those prediction hooks in. And once again, Darkmog at the front. Needs to be careful of Diablo though, because Diablo is looking for a chance to jump in and drop Darkmog into the hands of the rest of his team. Andilendi now, Thrall by the way still at the top lane, so is Muradin, so it's a 4 versus 4 down here in the middle of the map. And with that, we see my Insanity pushed back a little bit. Thrall coming in too, but there's Blumby in time. Healing ward is being taken out. Nice whirlwind into the back line. And they jump in once again. Stalk is low, being attacked on his Diablo. And of course, especially Kalthas trying to keep everybody alive here as the Condemn is once again sucking Diablo. And Darkmog is on and takes him down. That's the first kill. And we have another move straight in with Blumby at the front. Eliminated, but also stunning them out. Double kill. We have Karazim down, Diablo down, Nuruk still somehow alive, Morales making it happen, and this is the Arcane Punisher in the hands of my Insanity. Punisher number 2 goes to the team in red. They start to move in the mid lane, and they move in straight against Sphyxy and Mopsio here. Sphyxy and Mopsio, well, they get jumped, but Jaina at the top lane already trying to get some experience for her own team. Level 10s, they are threatening when they are ready. With already Phoenix being used, they want the keep of the fort, and they are very likely to at least damage it a bit more. We have also the Stim Drone now, of course, taken. I suppose that's something that especially Sonya is going to be pretty happy about in the later stages of the game. There's not really too many auto-attack heroes that could benefit from the Stim Drone. So Sonya, it's going to be, we have Unstable still trying to poke a little bit down here. Karazim jumping in and trying to go for damage always reminds me of that Carbot video that they made when Illidan was attempting to kill stuff and just didn't do any damage, but was really putting in the effort. That's how Karazim sometimes looks like when he jumps in and just like tries to get 1,000 hits in and nothing really happens, especially if Morales is hitting the target. It's always looking kind of funny. 3 kills versus 3, and again the jump again. Hazops. So Apocalypse used, but Hazops is down. Apocalypse didn't really do too much there. They get the kill against Kalthas though, and that was all that they needed. We have also a lot of heroic abilities used, but Thrall is there. Oh no, oh my god, that ragdoll is being thrown to the other end of the map. Well done. The kill for a kill. Thrall is coming in. He still has the Sundering ready, and so does Unstable regarding heroic abilities. Sundering, not used yet. Blumby is there. Thrall hasn't used anything yet. They wait for the jump, and there it is, but he's way too far out. And already healed up by Splendor again. He's out of mana and has to, of course, go back to base to take.
他是4近战，你4近战打凯子怎么打？为什么选4近战打凯子呢？
Especially of course with that big throw there on map number 2. Bad Google, they are still playing this pretty solid, but they lost both of the objectives, so that of course puts them in a bit of an awkward spot when it comes to the structures. Haven't lost any fort yet, but the towers are down of course. So overall, Google's still doing fairly well when it comes to the experience, and this is another opportunity to get a Punisher here. This time it's going to be a Mortar Punisher that is going to run down through the lanes, and the teams are starting to go straight for it. Mopsio is waiting for a hook, and oh, this is it! Morales is dead. No more heals, and here comes the 7-sided strike. Well played, and the immediate retreat, or at least the attempt to retreat. Oh, that play. Mopsio with the best hook ever, like getting that in was so important. If Morales is
有没有那个链接要发邮过来？ 我把那直播都关掉。
After Morales died, he said, "Okay, boys, we have no chance of winning this anymore. Without the heal, we cannot follow this up. They lost Sonya then on the way back."
你有没有下个更新所有的数据啊？这不只是某个英雄，就整个下个更新到底要怎么调？发个链接看看。
Mortar Punisher going straight through the portal, starting to move in. And this bad boy is starting to do some serious work, especially of course since he's assisted by a team that can rely on the level 13 talent now. That means again Firestorm taken after the Fire Devil on level 4. So the synergy between the two talents. Oh, Thrall in a bit of trouble here. Not only a little bit. Well, at this point he doesn't have problems. Because he's dead.
但是怎么讲呢？虽然刚才，哎呀。 虽然刚才败了一波，但是你13级凯子打4近战还是有优势啊。 好，等一下我来看。正刚看完我去单排去，然后顺便看一下这个新闻。
Therefore, I would say that's definitely not a misclick. I mean, sometimes you misclick a talent. It happened. I mean, we've even seen misclick on heroic abilities, which should never happen, but well, we all know that sometimes just things don't go as planned. But in this case, he was the one that was dead for a couple of seconds, so there was no real.
没有眩晕的话，我感觉还是挺致命的。
It looks like this is going to be a legit talent. There's a cooldown reduction on hero impact. I guess that allows you to, on a chase, to really chase a few more heroes down. They get that momentum every turn. Level 13 talents with the chain bomb now chosen. And we have Muradin still waiting for his talent. I mean, usually we would say that he goes for the extra damage on his thunder clap. We have seen adjustment with Burning Rage, especially when you are playing against the Zagara. On this map, you also have some, since you get the additional siege damage against the minions on those shrines when you fight for your objectives. So you could go for Burning Rage for sure. Hold Your Ground taken for Johanna, which is also a pretty sweet talent. Double Relentless, by the way, in Charism and also Stitches, so it's all about like survivability for them. We have a move to the top lane to meet that aggression that Sonya is currently executing down to the bottom half. And it's just like basically trading structures. 14 heading into 15 now, and they're not stopping there, they're going straight for that fort. We have Luby moving in now too, but the fort is more or less forfeit. We can't go in against that. Muradin's still not picking that level 13 talent, by the way. I'm not sure that he forgot about it. I don't see a reason why you would wait with a level 13 talent. I mean, either you go for the extra damage with area.
应该武森这盘学个治疗棒就是可以的。
There it is. Goes for the thunder strike.
你打阵地战，你学个治疗棒就没什么问题。
The chain bombs are a threat by now, especially against this heavy melee setup here that we see for the Google boys. Now we have a 5 versus 5 up at the top lane, and of course now camps again taken. Talking camps, we have a lot of camps claimed by My Insanity. Bot lane is pushing in with the Kazura camp. Mid lane, we see the same picture, but they want level 16 ideally before that shrine is there. And with those waves moving in, it's very likely that they're going to get the extra talent, and that would be horrible for My Insanity because it more or less means that they miss out on another objective. And well, 11 minutes, 12 minutes in, that's a little bit more significant than losing one of the early game punishers. So right now, Thrall even waiting over here, 16 talents taken. Thrall after that adjustment with the Restless Wolves is going into the Tempest Fury, Circle of Life, Northern Exposure, and My Insanity, they have to move back. They're going to trade structures for it. They're going to move to the bot lane, going to claim that fort because they know that they can, and they're going to give up that Punisher. And to make matters even worse, it's an arcane Punisher. That is super annoying right now. Now, Diablo could go into opposing presence here, or Rampage, or even threatening Keep now. Naughty.
好的，选择过来换一下是可以的。但是凤凰放的有点早吧？啊，你就 check 没啊？
So they move back. They're going to pretty nice interrupting the town portals here. But yeah, level 16 versus 16 now. But Diablo, of course, claimed that punishment.
刚刚下来 check 美牙就是为了升到16级。
Inoculation has been taken as a level 30, sorry, 16 talent. On 13 spell shield, by the way, for Morales. Not couples therapy, not the increased illegal like
哎呀，这个 boss 没有拉好。
spell shield. And once
这样
again, the move, 7-sided strike.
哎，又被勾了，这医生。
Well played. That's what you need to do. The hook, the kill, immediately the 7-sided strike against the isolated target. That was exactly what they needed. Great kills, Muradin down, Morales down, and the Arcane Punisher moving through the.
本来这个凯子打4近战是有优势的，你每次都被勾就很难受啊。
They will lose that.
怎么打呢？
Just don't see it survive here. Arcane Barrier has been chosen. Nice Iron Skin used on the side of Johanna, dodging that particular hook. And once again, we have them pushing in. 18 versus 16. The Google boys, so strong right now. They go for Norok. He is moving back, but just barely. And how far are they going to go with this? 4 seconds until Morales is back. 5 seconds for Muradin. They can't really do too much. They go back now. This time they don't overextend. They remember what happened the last time that they were trying to go a bit too aggressive, especially with that boss move, of course, on map number 2. But for now, we have everybody just like starting to move in against the camps again. So camp after camp, there's 3 on the map that they can take right now. They took the first Kazra camp. Unstable jumps over. Nuruk is still waiting.
现在那个红色方想打一下，因为不打的话，对面下一个阶段会到20级。所以他现在追着别人想打。哎呀，还好没有妈的。
The hook, the jump, Karazin using
好远啊！
These hooks are scary. They are so scary right now. Oh, Diablo, are we gonna see Apocalypse? Nah, he doesn't have to use it.
浪费了。
Didn't really have to use it. The camp got stolen. It's not too bad yet. 19 versus 16. I mean, they need to go for 20 now. At least they should. The mid lane is being pressured.
你看他今天不打的话，下一波到20，他可能就会被一波带掉。就是
And talking damage, talking heals now, Karazhan is currently on 43,000 heals with 36,000 on the side of Morales. If you look at the damage, then with Kalathos we have 31,000, which is pretty impressive. But we have a lot of the heroes on the side of the Google Boys on solid 20 to 25k. Jaina, Diablo, Thrall, Stitches, like all of them. So a pretty evenly spread damage output.
这盘医生实在太可怜了，每波团战之前先被勾。
Also, when it comes to like the siege damage in particular, I mean, Diablo at 127,000 is super solid. We have 117,000 there.
哎，秒了个真的，凯子又被勾过来了，勾过来加一个地震，但真娜被秒了，哎呀，给了对方一点机会啊。
These are the plays that Mind Sanity has to go for. So we got caught up a bit in our hero analysis there. But yeah, these are the plays that they have to go for. They are going to lose a few more structures in the top lane until Kalathos is going to take care of it. The rotation up to the top is actually going to put pressure on Hazobs. Yeah, how much though?
哎呀，气象拳好疼！哎呀，天啊，他没想到，他大意了，没想到这两个人杀死了。
And while the keep is threatened, we will see Mind Sanity move back.
好亏啊，还掉一个基地啊！天呐，好亏啊！掉一个兵营。
Starting to just make this happen now. Half hit points on the keep. Level 20s are by now also ready, and that means that we have transgression used. We have the Bolt of the Storm for Jaina that allows her to jump away again. Thrall also going straight for his Bolt of the Storm. And of course, Stitches at least.
你凯子死了，这个 boss 基本上吹不到什么东西了，你浪费了这个。他整个红色方这边全队的突进就凯子一个人啊，推进能力啊，就凯子一个人可以跟推，你凯子死了，你这个 boss 就浪费了。你这样还是面临对方在20级，哎呀。你看这 boss 什么事都干不了，因为没凯子。 That of course gives you then those extra heals. So for now we have Storm. 哎呀，有点难。你到20级还比较久，这个19级到20级还是比较慢的。现在对面开始找你打了，趁你到20之前找你打。哦，他要拿这个 cape， 他要先拿这个野怪，然后把这个上路这个内网给推掉。
The problem is that really with that double kill against Stitches and Jaina a bit earlier, there was a 3 versus 5 situation.
哎，后面有个谁脱节了
？Now they move in, very aggressive with that camp probably, trying to at least capitalize on that level 20. Because so far, their problem has been that since they hit level 20, they couldn't really do anything. A lot of the advantage.
其实我觉得乔艾达给他勾过去也无所谓啊，勾过去再放一个 D， 也是可以回来的。
So if they get a good shot off, then maybe now with that level 20, trying to take down that keep. They can make that happen. It will be the second one, and they try.
应该能拿下来啊！凯子的连锁炸弹，19打20啊！医生姐姐又被背回去了，哎呀，一波了。这个凯子一个失误吧，最后。
Darkmore barely surviving here, but the attack of the
主要是凯子一波失误比较明显。
It's unready. It's a 5 versus 2 in the game, and they go for it. They just drop it. Sphinxy is about to fall. He goes down. They're trying to drop the next target, but Core is already down to 20%.
啊，三辆法拉利开进来了。
GG, well played once again. The Google Boys take down my insanity, and they advance
OK，
to the round.
今天比赛就看到这里吧，等一下休息会单排。
Yeah, guys, so we have our next game, of course, starting in a bit. We already have the
我先把台关一下吧，晚一点打的时候再开啊。